a very simple floppy disk. It was my first day back at work after 5 years of changing diapers. And I knew that my school didn't have one single book to teach English. So luckily, I still had my old floppy. I went to put it into the computer, and to my dismay, there was no slot. A student approached me and he said, "Miss, it's 2009. Nobody uses a floppy anymore. We all use USB sticks." And I looked at it, and I looked at him, and I said, "Guess what?" He went on to tell me in great detail, with imperfect English but with perfect passion, all there is to know about USB sticks. And he also promised to catch me up with the latest technology because he was going to help me become a better teacher. He walked away full of confidence, and as he walks away, he says, "Miss, if you use floppies, you're not cool." And I said, "Come here. I'm cool. I have a Blackberry. And I want to know, when you grow up, what do you want to be?" And he said, "I'm going to be a computer engineer." And I believed him. For me, that moment was transformative because I realized, one, that the relationship, the dynamic between the student and the teacher had changed. He was the expert. He was sharing his knowledge, and I was the student. And I was totally okay with that. Secondly, I realized that the learning, the formal learning that he was getting at school in a place, was being supplemented by informal learning in spaces. So he had taken the time, his own free time, to look on the internet and find answers to the problems that he had questions for. He was solving problems, finding solutions. And by going on the internet, he was building networks. And through the networks, he was making contacts with people. He was connecting. So in other words, he was in contact, connecting with the person that he was in the present and the person that he will become in the future. Thirdly, I realized that if there was one student like this, there would be more, and I needed to change the way that I taught. So more technology in the classroom would be required. And what I really wanted to give them was more lifelong learning skills to keep that continuum of learning his whole life through. And lastly, I thought about myself. I had a choice to make. Would I stay the teacher that I was now? Or would I become a connected teacher? I vowed to become a connected teacher. I would build my own personal learning networks. And that's what I've done. So, connectivism. Connectivism is the brainchild of George Siemens. And what he says is that knowledge is available for anyone that has access to it. It's available in spaces. We live in a digital world and a digital culture. And that's the culture that our students, our youth, are going up in now. But I'm not here to talk to you about philosophies of education or learning theories. My purpose today is to persuade you to get connected, stay connected, connect with youth, so that we can give them the best chances that they deserve. But there's a problem. Not all students are as self-driven and motivated and engaged and connected to their futures and their talents as the one that I just mentioned to you. In fact, a lot of students are graduating saying that they're not prepared for the labor market and they don't even know who they are. So, a McKinsey report from 2013 says that 70% of colleges and universities worldwide feel that they are giving students what they need to enter the labor market. However, only 50% of those graduates say that they are ready. Moreover, employers say that those graduates don't have the skills to fill entry-level positions. That's dismal. The video that goes along with the report shows technology as a means to bridge that gap. So there's, for example, a nurse in training, and she says that she's learning by doing and using her critical thinking skills. So for example, via simulations, she's learning to get what she needs out of the training. And what I find interesting is that I can't wait for all of these three parties to collaborate. That's how the report ends. They're calling for collaboration between employers, youth, and educators. I want to start that critical thinking and that skills training right now. So let me show you what I'm not doing. This is not building critical thinking skills. Clicking a button is not building long-term plans or engagement with yourself. So I'm going to tell you what I do. Now for the teachers out there, and I know you're there, you will recognize Bloom's taxonomy. And what the SAMR model does is it interweaves technology into the SAMR model. And for the parents, because I know you're out there too, I see you, what we do with your children's brains every day. We start with what they know, and we build up from lower order thinking skills up to higher order thinking skills, all culminating in projects that are reflective of the students' talents, what they like, what they don't like, their creativity, and we put it all in a context. I will share with you what I did last month with my students who are learning Charles Dickens' Christmas Carol. Substitution is the first stage. So instead of using paper and scissors to create flashcards so the kids could learn new vocabulary, what I did is I said, go out there, go on the internet, and I want you to find either an app or a program that will let you practice with each other new vocabulary words. And it worked. It was fun. It's what's called flow, when the kids get so excited they don't stop. And next, because I care about my students who are dyslexic or who are audio or visual learners, I also give them the choice, in addition to the book, those are still there, of reading along on YouTube or watching the DVD. Next, I take them up a notch, and we're at augmentation, so a little bit more technology. Now they've read the book, they know the content, and I want them to show me what they've understood. So instead of using paper, they're using technology to work collaboratively. They're arguing all the way, but that's okay, that's also learning. And to really activate their long-term memory, what I'm doing is pulling at their empathy, their emotions. And this came from the BBC. And what they have to do is survive Victorian London. Terrible. They have to feel what it's like to be hungry and dirty and diseased. If they survive, they win. And what I liked about this game is the transfer that was taking place in the children's mind. And it almost made me cry when one student said to me, "Miss, we talk a lot about disease back then and being tired and hungry, but what about those refugees, the refugees from Syria, those kids?" At the next stage, modification, I step back and I tell the students, look, I've given you everything you need, but I'm going to have to assess you. You know, that's what I do as a teacher. So what do you want to do with this project? How do you want to carry it to fruition? And they said, we're going to make a trailer. Great! But you're going to need to write a script then. So they said, we're going to use Google Docs, Google Drive, and we're going to write the script together. So they're collaborating again, right? Generating ideas with one another. And one student composed the music. That's his talent. And another student said, I have just the app to record the music so that we can integrate it into the video. Finally, we have the end product. And it's absolutely authentic, creative, reflective of the students' talents. And it's something that's never been done before. It's the MP2 of Christmas Carol 2016. I loved what the students made, and I loved that it also reflected their current culture. So much so that CD on the phone was actually a major role. All the while, what I'm seeing is the students developing skills that they can use for the futures, or in life in general. So, let's read. Leadership, collaboration, communication, accountability, time management, so important. Critical thinking, creativity, adaptability, digital and global citizenship. In addition, the kids are seeing what they're good at. You know that kid that never shuts up? He loved this. Storytellers, risk takers, technicians, costume designers, managers, and peacekeepers. Those are my favorite. Another class, another year, might have chosen to do something completely different because they have other creative outlets that they need to practice. An animation. Or let's say that the novella brings out issues that they're really passionate and angry about, so a protest poster. The best part for me, though, is the reflection. This is the chance for the students to contrast what they knew before they started on the unit, and what they learned as a result of doing the unit. And I was blown away by the questions that they asked of themselves and to each other, and how they answered them. So for example, one student said, I don't want to be a director anymore. And I said, that's great. Not because I don't want him to be a director, but he's 12. And now he knows that that door is shut, and another door will open. I don't want him to spend the rest of his life thinking, what if? And another student said to me, Miss, we spent a lot of time talking about child labor and poverty in Victorian England, but that's still happening today. And I said, that's right. And what are we going to do about it? Now, there's more that we can do with technology. I would love to take my students to China. Instead, I can bring China to them. This is called Google Cardboard. It's just a phone and a cardboard. So imagine that you've taken the time as a teacher to find out what your students' talents are, and you realize that there are a few that are really crazy about chemistry. So how about taking them on a virtual tour of the fireworks factory? Yeah! Or you can bring a Skype expert. This is an astrophysicist speaking to your class. But what I think we need to stress to the students is that once their projects are finished, they're the experts. So they can share what they know, what they've done, how they did it with another class, another school, or another school in another part of the world. And that expansion of the audience invites more feedback, more critical thinking, more analysis. And what I love best is when the students say to me, wow, can we do it again? So what I want to say to the students, and you're here, is don't be passive about getting an education. Be creative. Get your education. Be active. I also want to talk about connected communities. So for example, we live here in Eindhoven. We have the highest rate of autism in the Netherlands. Technology helps us meet the needs of those students. Let's not let them down. Let's not let their futures down. So know your students. Secondly, with technology, we can chat and learn from experts near and far. So imagine that you are a French teacher. Why not connect with a car mechanic in Paris? And you're a history teacher. Why not Skype with a World War II veteran? Connected educators is also something that I dream about. So what we need, I think, is teachers and administrators to connect with one another and open a dialogue so that we have more forward-looking networks that include technology and talent and creativity and innovation and problem solving. And for the pre-service teachers, I think that we need technological preparation for the students that they're going to face in their classrooms. Let's make them ready. And for the in-service teachers, the ones like me, that have all kinds of talent and techniques up their sleeves, let's not devalue them. Let's give them the time that they need to get acquainted and use the new technology. Let's give them devices that are mobile, because I'm going to share something with you. Good teachers, our brains never turn off. We're always thinking about how to plan the next unit. And I had a brilliant idea yesterday morning. I thought, you know what we need in all schools? We need technology, education, and curriculum design mentor teams in every school. So that we're always thinking about our futures as teachers, and how we can integrate technology so that we're meeting our students' needs. It's our lifelong learning too. And students, this is for you. So I want everybody to please stand up. On the count of 3, we're going to read together, and I want to hear you, okay? 1, 2, 3. This is what I want you to say. Sorry. 1, 2, 3. This is what I want you to say. I worked hard to get here. I know what I want and need to become a content, productive global citizen. Don't just give me a piece of paper with a stamp of approval. Give me the chance to shine for my critical and other skills. Give me meaningful apprenticeships, because I need people networks and meaningful connections that will help me continue to learn my whole life through. And if your institution is not ready to do that, I will look elsewhere. So this is a picture of May 1978. And there was no differentiation made for me. No teacher bothered to ask me what I was good at. And had they asked, they would have learned that I'm really good at learning languages, and I'm really good at recognizing patterns. My point is that kids like this are the same throughout history. And now we have technology to help us tap the talents, the creativity. So, think for example of the schools that are using algorithms now to guide them in their learning. So I asked my students, look, all that information is available out there. Why do you even need me? I'm not going to answer for you, myself. I have here what they wrote. And they said, we need you, miss. In your lessons, we're never bored. You challenge us by making us use new technology. We get smarter because we share knowledge. You control the flood of information so that we can separate the good knowledge from the bad knowledge. And we like teaching you because we grow together. So I hope I've persuaded you to become connected, stay connected, connect with your students because they deserve the best chance they can get. Thank you.